a lot of people would probably fill this out by individual tasks. But I think if you're working towards a launch date, in order to get a realistic timeline, you kind of need to.
When you mentioned, hey guys, do an affiliate promo pack, and it's just a one sentence, but really underneath it, it's like the banner, the script, it's all the little items that unless you specify it, you can't really estimate it well. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lynn Podetti here, helping you to achieve time freedom so you have more time for self, family, business, and life. Now in today's video, you're going to hear from my marketing manager at Outsourcing Angel. Her name is Annie07, and she's going to share with you how to track your marketing. How do you actually track your marketing campaign to know that it's effective? And so listen up as she shares some of the tools that we use with Excel spreadsheets and templates that you can use to help you track your marketing. Hi Annie, welcome back.
Hi.
So today I wanted to pick your brain around how do you actually track your marketing effort, right? Because there's so many different channels that we're on. I think most business owners are on every social media channel and every marketing campaign out there. So how do we track it all and making sure that we know what's working, what's not working, what to stop, So yeah, would love for you to show us around the marketing metrics.
Yeah, so I've got an example of say you have a new marketing campaign or something you want to launch, and basically the process from creating the strategy, figuring out your USPs and what you want to measure as your success factors. And then that leads into creating a progress tracker. And then at the end of the month, we have the end of month report, which has all the top line KPIs that I go through with you and with our Aussie team. So I think that's a good way to kind of show you how we come up with the metrics, because now, this year, we really double down on making sure that we have daily meetings, weekly meetings, and monthly meetings. And there's different KPIs that we look at all of those meetings. So there's a lot of metrics. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll just show you if you were going to launch a marketing campaign, what would you look at? Because I think that would be relevant for a few people. So do you want me to share my screen?
Yes, yes, please,
okay. Alrighty, welcome to my desktop. So here you can see I've got a few different documents. I've got the campaign strategy, and that leads into a progress tracker, who will do what by when and keeping track of the status. I then put that all into Basecamp so everyone has different tasks to work on. And then at the end of the month, we've got this end of month report. So I've just pulled out the empty templates for you so I can remove any sensitive information. But I think something that has really helped us with launching new things now is taking our time to fill out a marketing campaign strategy. So the strategy will have things that you can see in the menu here. We have things like an overview of the campaign. So what it is, a description of it, your objectives, and the target market who
when
you want
say
to.
A campaign, you're saying what example would you say? What would be the last campaign we did or the one we're working on now?
Yeah, so this template was actually created when we started launching our online courses. So we've got our Instagram course right now. And then the next campaign that we've used this template for is the signature course. So the one that's talking about how to hire VAs for your business. And before launching any of that, I sat down with our operations manager, Richard, and we made sure that we had clarity over all of these things and we're on the same page so that it's worth our time launching this. And we knew if it was a success or it wasn't tracking well because we have all the information here.
So that means apart from courses, what else would we use this for? Would it be some new product or what?
Yeah, launching a new product, or if you're an e-commerce store, maybe you want to have a new sales campaign or something like that. I think I mentioned this to you before, but at previous companies that I've worked for, you kind of have two different marketing campaigns running at the same time. One marketing campaign is focused on sales. So it's creating a campaign to sell as much product as possible. And then the other marketing campaign is focused around just branding, getting reach and engagement, getting your name out there. So in that instance, I would create two separate marketing strategies because they have different KPIs. One would look at how much return on investment we're getting and how much cost per conversion. Whereas the other one, the one that's getting most reach and engagement, is kind of like cost per reach or cost per click. So it's two different marketing campaigns. Yeah.
Do you want to run us through this amazing sheet of yours? I really love very attention to detail.
Yeah, I'll give you a copy of it as well, so you can share it with whoever you think would need it. So we go through the campaign overview, and basically this is designed so that anybody in the marketing team, in the sales team, or whichever team can have a look at this and be like, oh, that's what the campaign is for. That's why we're launching it, and that's who it's targeted to. And then we have things like success factors. So like I said, either got a sales campaign or like a brand awareness campaign, and you want to write down what your budget is, what your break even is in terms of like sales, number of sales and dollar amount. And then from your break even, you figure out what your target is. So ideally, what would you get in order to make this a success? And then this is inspired by you, Lynn. What's the stretch target? Because you always want to have a stretch target. We'll shoot for the stars and the moon and see where we land. So so we've got a stretch target for a sales campaign, and then a brand awareness campaign is a little different because we focus on reach, engagement, cost per engagement, and cost per reach. And then from there, we figure out what the marketing funnel is. In the past, as you know, we would just try and launch a campaign and say, okay, you get $100 off if you sign up for a VA now. But we know now that we want to have like a marketing funnel. So you sell your small ticket item first and then warm them up to a bigger ticket item and then cross sell later. So I think that's important to write out what those items are. So we usually have like the pre-sell, which is like a free resource, the upsell, which is the big ticket item we want to sell them to once they're really impressed with that free resource, the cross sell, so what's complementary to this that they'll also like, and then stay in touch and review. That's something that we want to keep as part of our marketing campaign as well. And then post-sell, what special offers we can offer to get them back through the funnel. So this is quite in-depth. I'm not going to go through everything, but you can see like once you list out everything here, including like in terms of who is this for, what are the USPs and what do they get out of it, it's really clear what kind of marketing KPIs you'll need around this to call it a success. And we have everything, including like what the email sequences are for the different types of leads that come through. Are we going to have an affiliate program for this? Because if we do, then you need KPIs around the affiliate program and how many referrals you want to achieve. And what are the promo activities? So are we going to do like a Facebook post, a YouTube video, an ad, whatever it is? We list all of that here for pre-launch, launch, and post-launch. And that's basically everything you need to know in terms of creating a strategy. And then from there, I turn it into campaign progress tracker. And here I've got a who will do what by when tab. So I separate all of the tasks into individual items, list out who is in charge of those things, try and work out how long those tasks will take. And that's just based on my experiences with working with each of these team members and knowing how long it would take for them to do that task, and then figuring out the due date in order to get it to the launch day. So
why use this sheet as well as a project management tool, like the difference between this and the project management tool?
So this sheet is more designed for the person who is behind the marketing strategy to keep track. So right now we're in the middle of launching our virtual assistant signature course. And I'm the one that's looking at this and being like, okay, this is already in progress. That's looking okay, but we're a bit delayed here. And then I'll go into our project management tool and follow up whoever that task is delayed for and be like, hey, I noticed that we're running a little bit behind. Let me know what's going on. Are you stuck on anything? So no one really updates this. It's more so something for me. But before I actually put it into a project management tool, I show this to the marketing team so they can see the due dates and they can come back to me to say whether or not this ETA is actually something that's realistic. So they might come back to say, oh no, the landing page is going to take me longer than 2 weeks. I'll need 3 weeks. And then that way I can adjust everything and we might have a new launch date. So it's just to help me figure out the dates of where things are.
So then what happens with the other tabs that you can share there?
Yes. So I think this is what you're asking, like tracking the progress of a marketing campaign. So like I said, we've got meetings now daily, weekly, and monthly. It sounds like a lot, right? Like when we first implemented it, I was like, this is a lot of meetings. But the daily meetings are very quick. They're like 10, 15 minutes max. And each team member has some KPIs that they report on. So we have things like, our discovery call bookings from the sales team. They kind of update how we're going in terms of bookings, deposits, and direct debit setups. And then for me, the metrics I look at are just if we have a marketing campaign, do we have any purchases and what is the dollar amount revenue right now? So it's only really 2 metrics that I look at daily. And then in our weekly catch up, we have more in-depth metrics. So you can see it's much longer. And then for me, it would be looking at the site traffic that came through from that marketing campaign, looking at the number of purchases, the revenue amount, and then you can figure out the conversion rate. And in terms of how much we've spent, what's the ROI on that? Then when we've got our monthly catch up, the report is even longer.
So how long is the weekly catch up? Daily is only 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and weekly is how long would that take?
Our weekly is booked in for like an hour, and we don't really make it all the way to an hour sometimes because we don't need to talk about every single individual KPI. It's more so if there's a pattern or if there's something we should be aware of, then we discuss it.
Yeah. So would it be ideal early in the week or the end of the week?
Right now we have it early in the week. I guess just because we want to talk about the week that just passed. So we try and book in all the meetings on a Monday and Tuesday. But I think the ops team, they have it later in the week. So it kind of depends on how your team like to track. Yeah.
And the team would have it filled out prior to the meeting, as long as it's prior to the meeting. And the people behind those items have to kind of give a overall takeaway from it, right? Not just like reading the numbers from it, because everyone can see the numbers, but it's like, so overall, what's your recommendation or what's the pattern here?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when we first implemented this, everyone was going through the individual numbers. Like John would say, organic traffic went up by 52. Direct traffic is the same as last week. And then we were like, this is way too long. Everyone's falling asleep. So now it's kind of like John will just go in here and say, yeah, traffic is just as expected. We had a lot more referral traffic. And I saw that it's from this website. They listed something about us. So that's good news. So it's just the highlights. We don't need to go through every single thing. So I kind of do the same. I'll be like, oh, we had a lot of sales from that marketing campaign this week because Linh posted a YouTube video or something like that. So just to tell people what the good news or bad news or whatever we need to keep an eye on. So weekly is like about an hour. And then our monthly KPIs. So for monthly, in the marketing campaign section, that's when I have more things like the total reach from that campaign, total engagement, and the cost per reach, cost per engagement if we did spend anything. So the monthly would usually be a longer meeting, so maybe like an hour and a half, because in that meeting, we actually go through our focus and our ideas for next month as well, based on what we learned this month.
And it looks like you go into more depth of like overall how many people came into our database, like list size and those are the things so how long would it probably take the team to gather these data in the monthly compared to the other shorter meetings? Yeah,
so every team member that's assigned to these stats, they'll fill in the numbers and then I do the analysis of the numbers. So I'll give the marketing team, I'll say on the Monday, I'll tell them, okay, can you please do the report by Wednesday? So maybe give them 3 days. If you need a bit longer, let me know. And then Thursday and Friday, I spend that time analyzing the numbers and seeing where the patterns are or things to be aware of. But as our operations manager, Richard, has started to teach me is don't just keep spoon feeding your team, give them the opportunity to also come up with the ideas and the initiatives. So I have a list of ideas and things that I want to implement based on our numbers, but we actually discuss all of the ideas in our monthly meetings so everyone has a chance to contribute. And I learn a lot of things as well because Karina might have seen a pattern in social media that I didn't see from the numbers or something like that. So we just kind of bounce off each other.
And it goes into the project management tool, which I guess the purpose of it is to communicate in specifically for those tasks. right? And
yeah.
contribute to the importance of using a software like Basecamp.
Yeah, and anytime you have like a question or you want me to review the draft version of something, then that's all uploaded in Basecamp so we can have the back and forth conversations. And then this is basically just a tracker to see if we're on track or if we're falling behind. But Basecamp is the one that we communicate with in order to get the task done. So they're for different purposes. Yeah. I mean, not a lot of people would probably fill this out by individual tasks, but I think if you're working towards a launch date, in order to get a realistic timeline, you kind of need to. Otherwise, I might say to the team, hey, I want you to launch this campaign in 3 weeks. And then we start doing it and we're like, Annie, there's just too much work. And we didn't think about, having to do like the video scripts or email copy or whatever. And then everyone's in a panic. So
that's right. So when you mentioned, hey guys, do an affiliate promo pack, and it's just a one sentence, but really underneath it, it's like the banner, the script, it's all the little items that unless you specify it, you can't really estimate it well.
Yeah, exactly. And when I list these things, it might trigger me to remember another thing that would be good for the marketing campaign. So I add it in as well, rather than just saying, everyone, you go launch it, do whatever you want. And then we're all freaking out when we don't make it to the timeline.
Yes. Now, finally, I can see there's a report there that you finally put into a presentation. And when did that happen?
As you know, the Aussie management team, we have monthly meeting. We've also got weekly meetings, but at the end of the month, we can go through our monthly numbers. And I just put all these ugly KPIs into something nice for you. So it's easy for you to visualize things, because if you're presenting something to the rest of the team who don't understand all the marketing metrics, you kind of don't want to give them a bunch of numbers because no one's going to really listen. So this is like the report template that we're using at the moment. We've got different sections. So the sales section focuses on our discovery strategy calls and deposits. We also have LinkedIn lead generation, and that focuses on how many connections, how many people accepted our connections, and the conversions to bookings. For marketing, we look at the site visitors from organic and social media. They're the two important ones for us because they bring through the most traffic and discovery calls. And then also conversion rate and our lead magnets, how many discovery calls we get from there. And this is something that we started implementing this year because we started doing like an aquarium grouping of our clients that come through. Mm-hmm. So, when people say like it's a big fish or a small fish, we didn't want to call everyone fish. So you said, let's come up with a nicer name.
That's right. So now we've got goldfish, dolphin, and whale. Yeah.
So whichever lead comes through, we categorize them as a goldfish if they're like small or startup, dolphin if they're like a more established business, and then a whale if they're a large business. So we want to look at the aquarium split for that and actually where they came from, which is really important. And then for the website performance, we look at the important website data. So which pages people are coming from, what search queries they're coming from, and things like location and that kind of thing. And then we recently installed Hotjar on our website. So this is something new that I think we should also look at when we're setting up a new campaign, a new landing page, to see if that landing page works. So this is called a heat map, and it just shows you where people are clicking, and it makes you see things from another person's perspective, because you know how your website works and you know what you want people to do, but they might not necessarily do that. So this heat map example here shows me that people are not actually clicking to VA services, for example. They're clicking into other services. So that will tell me, okay, the word VA services doesn't stand out, or people don't understand what it is. And it's time we change the name of that or make it more prominent on the page. And then I can see, people are clicking all over the banner, but the banner isn't actually going anywhere. So we have to make it clickable. So that's very important information. We also have really sessions. I know. I haven't actually showed you this. I know. I haven't actually presented this to you yet because this is the end of month report. Yes. And then there's also another thing called session recordings. And it basically records somebody's movement on the page from when they land to when they leave. And we've got a whole list of session recordings, about 80 of them. And then I just sorted it by the people who actually booked a discovery call, because I could see their movement on the site. And that helps me figure out how they're interacting with the page. So from this session recording, I realized that on the homepage, people scroll down to the how it works section, and they actually spend a lot of time here reading every step, and they're going back and forth and reading these 2 steps, and they're trying to click it, but they're not going anywhere. And then after they look at the homepage, they also look at these other pages like About Us, Meet the Teams, and then they go to our Meet the VAs page, and they click on the profiles, and they spend a lot of time looking at what software and tools the VAs are competent in, and then they open their work examples. So that tells me that the work examples of our VAs is very, very important, and the tools that they know how to use is very important. So I'll say to the team, next month, we need to make this more prominent. We need to show more work examples. So if I had this installed on like a marketing campaign landing page, that will also tell me what information to make more obvious or to use in our like email campaign or social media or whatever it is. And yeah, we also track our discovery call and how that's performing. So here it tells me that people are clicking off our discovery call page to other parts of the website. So I'll tell the web developer, let's remove the site menu, because they should just be focused on booking the discovery call on this page. So they're things that I think are really relevant for a marketing campaign. And our website is like every KPI ties back to our website anyway, because that's where they end up making the discovery call booking. That's why I spend a lot of time looking through here. But then we also have other things like social media. So we look at the traffic from social media this month versus last month and why it's moved that way. And then we also list out the best performing content and the worst performing content. And we started doing them all next to each other, just so it's easy for us to notice any trends. So for this, for example, I'd say, well, people love Lynn's face, obviously. So you can easily just spot things. And then the worst performing content are like more graphics that we've designed that doesn't really have a face there. So yeah, I think that's why it's good to list them there. And then here we just list out what we want to focus on next month. So there's a lot involved. It goes from like strategy to who will do what by when, daily KPIs, weekly KPIs, monthly KPIs, and then the end of month report.
Yeah, thank you so much, Annie. So this really comes down to, we really do need a team in order to succeed in business, to grow the business. You need a team. It's a team sport. Well, that's it, guys. Hope you've gained some insights on how we track our marketing at Outsourcing Angel. But of course, if you'd like to learn more about how we do things at Outsourcing Angel, or how you can grow your business with different marketing strategies or business strategies, then I'd love to invite you to join me at productizekit.com, where I mentor you and give you personalized coaching to suit your business needs. So do check out productizekit.com. But yeah, if you'd love to see more videos like this, do check out these videos here.